back then, and he came over, and I wasn't real sure how he would do, but he has been an incredible leader in the Senate. I'm a diehard Republican, but you've got to sometimes put your country and your state above your party, and he looks at things, and it's I'm science with anesthesia. I'm a data person, and he's a data person. It's what does the policy say? What are my principles versus what the politics say? He's done a great job of that, and that's one of the reasons we're here today and have been able to do all the great things that we've done. He is also, when things get kind of hectic in politics, he's been the adult in the room. I think that's one of the most important things we've seen there. So with that, I want to turn it over to our Lieutenant Governor, Jeff Duncan.
Chuck, I had no idea you liked me that much. Honored to be here, and anytime you get to be in Middle Georgia and be in the same room with Senator Walker back there. Now, I thought you were eating. I didn't know you were doing dishes. And Senator Kennedy, thank you for your great support. Anytime you're in Middle Georgia with those two, you know you're in good company. Nothing screams conservative louder than a good old-fashioned tax cut. And that's why we're here today. And it's so honored to work alongside so many folks in the General Assembly that have worked together this past session to really pull some big ideas together and do some heavy lifting. I want to thank our colleagues in the House for all their great work in the Ways and Means Committee and really trying to figure out that right balance that made sense for 11 million Georgians and businesses and communities just like this. Certainly our colleagues on the other side, Terry England, and has done a great job on the appropriations side, along with Blake Tillery. Shaw, thank you so much for your great work in Ways and Means as you've worked through this. Chuck, you've done a great job. Your job is you have a really, really hard job. You've got to be in charge of collecting revenue and coming up with those policies, but you're also a diehard conservative. And you've done an amazing job really trying to balance that riddle each and every day. The person I want to thank the most here today is Georgia's most conservative governor in our history. Brian Kemp has come to work each and every day to put us in this position. Without his bold conservative leadership over some of the toughest days in our state's history, we would never have a chance to be in this position to sign this great legislation that positively affects 11 million Georgians. He's made the tough decisions when it didn't seem like it was the cool thing to do. He looked through the lens of a small business owner just like you. I remember sitting there in the heat of the battle during the pandemic, during the lockdown, and Governor Kemp looked at me and said, I just can't help but think about that small business owner that's figuring out a way right now to try to meet payroll. We've got to go to work for them. We've got to figure out a way to get them back open. And so to be able to stand here today with Governor Kemp and see his bold leadership over the last 4 years truly is a proud moment. And none of this would be possible without your great work and tough decisions. Now, with that, I want to hand it over to Shaw Blackman, who's been a great friend since we spent some time in Ways and Means together. I saw his great promise and was going to be the Ways and Means chairman eventually, and so I decided to run for lieutenant governor and get out of his way. But I will tell you, Chuck mentioned it earlier, former chairman Jay Powell, who was a great friend of ours, he's not with us anymore, but we both learned a lot about how to be a conservative legislator in that room, in that Ways and Means room. And so it's with great distinction and honor I get to recognize you here, and thank you for your great work along the way.
Thank you so much for the kind words to the Lieutenant Governor. Thank you, Chairman Huffstadler. It's been a pleasure working with you. I appreciate those kind words and how you have helped to steer us in the right direction. And then I know that phrase that was coined, never let them see you sweat. He was not in middle or South Georgia with 100 people packed in White Diamond. I can assure you. Anyway, just thank you. Good afternoon thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to have the governor and the first lady here with us. Thank you both for your service to the citizens of Georgia. And I want to take a quick minute and recognize the House members that are here today, see if I got them all. I saw Representative Danny Mathis was here, and Chairman Corbett, Chairman John Corbett, the Vice Chairman of Ways and Means, Vance Smith, over in the corner back there. One of our delegation members, Chairman Noel Williams. I believe Representative Patty Bentley was coming, but I had not seen her yet. There you are.
Hey, Patty.
Chairman John Carson, there you are. You may get coming from the furthest. Representative Debbie Buckner. There you are, Debbie. Good to have you. Chairman Heath Clark. And I saw Representative Dale Washburn is here with us too. Did I miss anybody? I know. And Chairman Dickey, gosh, I had you down first. Sorry, I'm sorry. Chairman Dickey from right down the road, our delegation member. Thanks for being here. And Kathy O'Neill, wife of former Representative Larry O'Neill, is with us as well. And thank you, Sheriff Talton, so much for helping put this together. And I know you and your family just recently survived a pretty rough stretch with the tornado coming through along with others, and we're glad nobody was hurt, but certainly glad you and your family are okay. Also wanted to say, if you hear a little boy screaming over there, my wife Whitney and her boys are waving over there. They're way back. Thank you. Working together with the Senate and the governor, along with other stakeholders that I have seen here today, we had the opportunity to enact some monumental legislation this session. We suspended the gas tax, saving Georgians millions at the pump. We returned over $1 billion to Georgia taxpayers, and we exempted the retirement income of our nation's heroes, our veterans. And today, after many years in the making, Governor Kemp is here to sign into law the largest income tax in Georgia history. A tax cut that in the first year alone will leave over $1 billion more in the pockets of hardworking Georgians. And at the completion of all phases, a family of four will not pay 1 penny of state income tax on their first $30,000 of income. That same family at $50,000 of income will save over $450 a year. The Tax Reduction and Reform Act of 2022 saves taxpayers across all income levels, simplifies Georgia's tax code, and makes us even more competitive in our region and across the country. And I particularly, although he was not able to be here today, want to thank Speaker Ralston for being a champion of sound and responsible tax policy and cutting taxes 3 times in almost as many years. But the honor today goes to our governor, and I'm super excited to have the pleasure and the privilege to be able to introduce the 83rd governor of the great state of Georgia, the Honorable Brian Kemp, who is here in Middle Georgia to sign this groundbreaking legislation into law. So, Governor Kemp, I struggled through that.
Well, thank you, Shaw, so much. I think the Shaw Blackman fan club got you off guard a little bit there, back there, cheering in the middle of your speech. But I just appreciate the kind introduction. We are honored to be here today. Honored to have our great First Lady Marty Kemp with us, and one of the first daughters, Lucy Kemp, with us. They have been great representatives of our state. I also just want to thank Commissioner Robin Crittenton with the Department of Revenue, and she's got some of her team members here. This is a very busy time of year with them. So is the legislative session, but they did a great job helping us implement a lot of the things that Shaw talked about. So, Rob, thank you for all your good work. We're grateful for your focus. I also just want to thank Lieutenant Governor Duncan for his leadership and for the kind words, as well as Shaw and also Senator Huffstedler for all the work that really we all did working together to figure out how to hash this out and get the bill across the finish line. We have a great team. I talk about that all the time, and we got a lot of good things done this year, but it's because we worked together. Even when there were some disagreements on things, we never let that bog us down. We kept working and grinding through it, and I just appreciate the Lieutenant Governor's leadership, and both the chairmen did a great job. I, like Shaw, want to thank Speaker Ralston for his leadership. I know he wanted to be with us today, but he had a prior engagement. And as you can imagine, my schedule's a little busy these days. So we just couldn't figure out how to get him down here. But I just want to thank Speaker Ralston as well. I think, Shaw, you put that very well when you mentioned him. I also want to thank the other members of the General Assembly that are here on both sides of the aisle that voted overwhelmingly for this tax decrease. I know we got a lot of local elected officials. I can't thank Shaw enough for recognizing all the representatives that are here. But I appreciate also Mayor Randall Walker, Mayor John Harley, Councilman Robert Jones, Commissioner Byrd, obviously Sheriff Talton. I know former Commissioner Tom McMichael's here. Former Chairman Ned Sanders is here, and I know Ned made it through that tornado too. We're proud to have you with us, Chairman. I want to thank Sheriff Lewis Walker, School Superintendent Scott, Sheriff Deese is here, Sheriff Tondy, Sheriff Watson, Sheriff Peavy, and I'm sure I've missed some others, but just I talk to people about Houston County a lot around the state. This is a great community. You've had great leadership over the years, and you still do, and I just appreciate the great job that you are doing to really just build a great state-local partnership. And I certainly want to thank Charles and his team at White Diamond Grill for hosting us this afternoon. This is an incredible story. Well, it's really an incredible story. I was talking to the chief earlier. He said I think he met his wife or either his parents got engaged here. I mean, just a lot of those 70-year memories that you talked about. And this tax cut is designed to put more money in hardworking Georgia's pocket. So before they leave today, since they got the money coming, they can go ahead and buy something on the way out. Since we have disrupted your operations this afternoon, so we'll be doing the same. But y'all are very gracious to have us, and it's a great reminder, as Lieutenant Governor Duncan said, that we were right to protect both lives and livelihoods during the pandemic, and not to let the critics influence us when we reopened our economy. We let hardworking Georgians and the folks serving our state decide that, and that's the way it should be. But because we made the tough decisions when it mattered the most, and because we had a conservative approach to budgets and governing that all these legislators had a part in that are here today and many others, Georgia is leading the nation in the Great Recovery. And we are in a unique position to provide much-needed relief to hard-working taxpayers at a time when they are burdened with sky-high inflation caused by policies coming out of Washington, D.C. And as Shaw did a great job of mentioning, it's really when you're on the, I say this a lot, but when you actually hear somebody say it, it's hard to believe we were able to do all this in 1 year. It's incredible. But thus far, we've signed a law for a tax refund that puts over $1 billion back in the pockets of our hardworking citizens, suspended the gas tax to help ease the pain at the pump at just the right time. And just last week, as Shaw mentioned, we did the military retirement income tax exemption, the first in our state's history, which is going to be huge for this area and many others around the state. And I've said earlier, we can't fix everything that Washington has broken, but we're doing our part to lessen the pain on people's wallets here in Georgia. And today, we will put into place a more long-term system of relief. And I strongly believe that government should take in the very least amount possible needed to serve the people properly. We must never forget that taxpayer dollars are the people's money. They're not the government's. And HB 1437 provides the largest tax cut in Georgia history. And once fully implemented, it will save an average Georgia family of four making $60,000 over $600 per year on their state taxes. And I think Shaw did a great job of explaining how we looked at all the folks that are making money in our state, and we're proud of that, and we want to help them all. And we are using these savings, like I said before, to buy something at Charles's place before you leave. So we'll make sure they don't forget that, Charles. Over a period of 7 years, it will cut the current rate of 5.75 that most Georgians pay to just 4.99%, or to 4.99%. These decreases are purposely separated over that span of time and will begin in 2024 to ensure the state is able to respond appropriately to any unexpected or sudden downturns in the economy. Thankfully, despite the headwinds we're facing because of Biden inflation and bad policies on the federal level, Georgia is poised to remain a top destination for new jobs and investment, and we are seeing that every day. Our strong and growing workforce, our logistics and transportation assets like the Georgia Ports Authority, now a national model in the world's most utilized airport, and our approach to partnering with job creators to bring opportunity to every corner of our state means an economy that will continue to thrive in our state. As it does, And if and when we hit the growth triggers specified in this bill, all Georgia taxpayers will benefit from that success. So in closing, I again want to thank everyone for standing here with me today who helped make this tax cut possible, and there's a lot of you, including our partners at the Department of Revenue who are tasked with implementing this important proposal. We tell people all the time when we're all across this state, Georgia continues to be the best place to live, work, and raise a family, even in the face of truly unprecedented times, because of days like today, when we're putting Georgians and their needs first. Over this last legislative session, we have worked to build a stronger, safer Georgia for all who call the Peach State home. And today is just the latest fruit from that good labor. So thank you all for being here. God bless you. And with that, let's sign HB 1437 into law. Thank you.